Hello everyone, I'm Nathan here with the ebook reader blog. For this video, I'm going to do a full review of the Kindle Colorsoft, Amazon's first Kindle with the color e-ink screen. So I've been reviewing color e-readers since 2020, so this isn't anything new to me. But this is the first color Kindle. It actually shares the exact same design as the Kindle Paperwhite Signature Edition. It's got the flush front screen. It doesn't have that rubbery coating. They got like a metallic finish on the Signature Edition now, but it is waterproof. It's got the wireless charging, got the USB-C port down here, power button, LED indicator, same sort of setup as the Signature Edition Paperwhite. So it just has a color ink screen instead of a black and white ink screen. Actually, these color screens are black and white. They just have a color filter over the top of the screen, which kind of limits the amount of light they can get through. So they do have a little bit of a darker quality than regular ink screens, but the color is actually pretty good. I mean, it's not going to be like as bright and vibrant as LCD screens, but the screen on the Colorsoft is actually better than other color e-readers I've seen. You still have the same layout on here as you do a regular Kindle. I mean, the software is exactly the same as a regular Kindle. You got your home screen and your library view. Everything just pops a little bit better with color. And same thing when you go to the Kindle store, all the covers are in color now. So yeah, definitely an advantage with the color screen just as far as covers go. Stuff like comics, kids books, maybe even cookbooks are definitely going to benefit from the color screen. Definitely looks a lot better than everything being rendered in grayscale. I did upload a comparison between this and the Paperwhite if you just wanted to see how the two compare. But as far as the color quality goes, I'm actually surprised how good it is on the Kindle Colorsoft. Like I said, I've been reviewing color e-readers for several years now, and the something about the Kindle Colorsoft screen is better than the other devices I have on hand. It just has more saturated colors than sort of like the blacks just stand out a little bit more. I will be uploading some comparison reviews between this and the Kobo Libra Color and the Books Go Color. They both have the same 7-inch color ink screen, but for some reason everything just looks a little bit better on the Colorsoft screen. So here's a look at the Colorsoft compared to the Books Go Color 7 with the same exact comic on both of these. Both of them are set to vivid for the color style. But the colors just are a little bit darker on the Colorsoft screen. Text is just a little bit clearer as well. Obviously, it's not a huge difference, but there is something a little bit different going on with the Colorsoft screen. It's the same story when comparing it to the Kobo Libra Color. Even when using the normal mode on the Kindle, not vivid, it looks better than the Kobo screen. But I'll be doing a more in-depth comparison of these later if you wanted to check out my YouTube channel. But for now, I just wanted to do like a quick comparison, just a cursory comparison of the different colors on these two with the same exact comics. I don't know, definitely a difference. All right, so getting back to the main review, there is this page color option as well. Like if you're reading with comics, it's obviously not going to invert the entire comic, but it does invert the background if you wanted the dark background instead of the light background. And then also, it doesn't have like the full dark mode like the other Kindles do, so it'll invert the text. I'll talk about that a little bit more later, but it doesn't invert the full interface. And when you're using this page color option instead of the dark mode option. Okay, so let's load up an ebook and talk about the front light a little bit. So the Colorsoft has this issue with this yellower band at the bottom of the screen. You can kind of see it a little bit in this video. I'm going to actually return this one and see if I can get one without the yellow band. But as far as the front light goes, I mean, you still got the same exact, it's kind of set up as you do with the regular Kindles, with the Kindle Paperwhite. You have the warm lighting and you have the cool lighting. You can blend the two colors together. It kind of helps at night. And then like I was saying, this also has the page color option. It doesn't have the true dark mode. So it'll invert the text, but it doesn't invert the menus like it does on other Kindles. I don't know if they're going to change that later with the software update, but it's just kind of one of the differences with the color model versus the regular Paperwhite model. But yeah, you still have the same kind of color settings. You have that warmth schedule, so you can automatically have it set to change the warm lighting based on the time of day, or you can just adjust it yourself. And then it also has the auto brightness sensor. With the front light off, the screen is quite a bit darker than regular ink screen, so that's like one of the biggest difference. So you're definitely going to be relying on the front light more than you are with the regular Kindle. Even in bright sunlight, it's a little bit dimmer than regular ink screens. It does help the color to have the front light like cranked up. The more you crank up the front light, it just seems to make the color pop a little bit more, enhances the color a little bit. So it's just one of those things with the color ink screen versus the regular ink screen. One of the differences when it comes to regular text-based ebooks, the color doesn't really have any value other than if you have illustrations in the book. You can also long press on the image and go full screen if you want to view the images in full screen. When it comes to the color style, there are two different settings. There's standard and vivid. Not really a big difference between the two, but I'm leaving it on vivid for this video. So as far as comics go, definitely the setting to use. Some comics, it just sort of depends on the layout. Like this one, these Dark Tower books, they have the weirdest layout. Like it's forced 2-page layout in landscape mode, makes it too hard to read the text balloons on a smaller 7-inch screen like this. But other comics lay out differently. So you also have the list mode from the library view. So you can do the cover view or the list view. Cover view kind of looks better with the cover, with the color covers, obviously, but you can use list view as well. So you got the same layout elements as you do with other Kindles. Color really only benefits for the covers and comics and stuff like that, and also adding highlights. So when you're adding highlights to ebooks, you have 4 different color options now instead of just the gray color it does on black and white Kindles. So you have yellow, pink, blue, and orange. And then it'll remain on whatever setting you had on last time. So whenever you add highlights again, it'll be that color. So you got all the same ebook settings as you do regular Kindles. You got the bookmarks. You can navigate your pages using the swipe up gesture. You can view multiple pages at once. That even shows your highlights in that view as well. So you can jump around different parts of your book that way. Highlights will also show up when you're using the inverted dark view. So like I was saying earlier, it's not the full dark mode. It inverts the text and it'll invert the dictionary pop-up, but it doesn't invert the full interface like dark mode does on other Kindles. So like if you go to other Kindles, like everything's inverted, all the menus, the home screen. But when you're using dark view on the Colorsoft, none of that stuff is inverted. It just inverts the text for some weird reason. Not sure if they're going to change that or not, but as it stands, that's how it is now. So color also comes in handy if you're using the web browser. Obviously the web browser on Kindles isn't all that great. It's very jittery and slow to like scroll, but it is usable if you're looking up stuff on Wikipedia, you're looking up images or anything like that. Definitely going to have some benefit with the color ink screen, everything being rendered in color instead of black and white like on regular Kindles. But when it comes to regular ebooks, none of the interface is inverted at all. I mean, like if you open up the About This Book, you'll have like a picture in color, and obviously the covers will be in color, the recommended titles by the author. But as far as regular ebooks go, obviously not really much benefit to the color screen. If you're only going to be reading ebooks, you're probably better off just getting a regular Kindle. Contrast is a little bit better, but obviously the text isn't hard to read at all on the Colorsoft screen either. So you got the usual settings in here. You have the option to show a clock while reading. There's the reading progress indicator. You have that page turn animation setting that's available on the Paperwhite. So that's how it's been this whole time. If you turn it off, it just does the instant page turn there. You don't have that black flash at all. Except for when you're using color content, it will like fully refresh the screen to minimize ghosting. Sometimes ghosting can be more of an issue with color e-readers, but I haven't had any issue at all with the Colorsoft here. The screen refreshes fully with each page when you're like viewing comics here, and it cleans it up nicely. There isn't any after image effects at all. I haven't noticed any problems with ghosting at all. Definitely seems more of an issue with Onyx's color devices, but with the Android operating system, they got a lot more going on. So stuff like magazines can benefit from the color screen as well. Amazon has some different magazines in their Kindle Unlimited now, and they're formatted for Kindles, so stuff lays out better than it would on like a regular magazine, how they used to. The full layout, it doesn't work really well on a Kindle, so they have these different types of layouts for these magazines, and of course you can view the images full screen as well using these. So it just sort of depends on the type of content that you read. Magazines, comics, even cookbooks and children's books, all that kind of stuff can benefit from the color. But if you're just reading regular ebooks, obviously the color doesn't really matter a whole lot other than just showing the covers in color. But it does come with the cost of a little bit lower contrast. The screen's not quite as bright as far as reflecting light. Doesn't quite have the same level of contrast, but that's the same story with all color ink screens. They all have that, these Kaleido 3 screens anyway, because they have that color filter layer. The ink does make these color screens, the Gallery 3 screens that are all colored pixels, and they don't have a color filter layer, but they have their own set of drawbacks as well. Slower refresh rate. The Remarkable Pro is currently the only device using one of those screens, and some people expect Kindles to use those at the future too, so I don't know, we'll see. But right now, this Kindle Colorsoft first gen color Kindle is actually pretty nice. I'm impressed with the color quality and just like the screen in general. It definitely looks better than other color e-readers that I have on hand when comparing them side by side. It looks better, obviously, compared to a regular black and white Kindle here. This is the Paperwhite as far as color content goes. If you're reading comics, really no reason not to get the Colorsoft over a Paperwhite, other than, I mean, I guess the cost, but definitely a big advantage with color for that type of content. Make sure to check out my review comparing these two devices if you wanted to see how the screens compare. As you can see right here, the Colorsoft does have the darker screen when you're comparing them like in direct light and stuff like that, with the front lights off. So it's just sort of one of those things that depends on your priority. If you want color or do you want better contrast with the black and white screen. But overall, I think the Kindle Colorsoft is actually a good first entry as far as color Kindles go. Obviously, it's off to a little bit of a rough start. There's a lot of negative reviews, but when you compare it to other color e-readers, it actually comes out ahead in a lot of areas. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this review. Go ahead and check out the ebook reader YouTube channel and the ebook reader blog for more reviews and more comparisons. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.